to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live peoples, and it's the day before Christmas, New Year's Day. I've lost a week. I've been a bit poorly, so I've got dried Dr. Martens pH Hydrus liquid watercolors in there, and I've also put a drop of new color in there as well. So if I actually go into the fresh, it's going to be very, very liquidy. And I've mixed, dropped some yellows in there and some blues. It's going to give me some nice greens. I'm in the Johanna's Christmas colour book because I really wanted to finish this bit by the end of the year, but that's not kind of worked out. So I haven't decided whether I should do that off camera and then just do a quick flick, or if anybody wants to carry on because they actually got this book at Christmas and they want to work through it through winter, then do let me know, leave a comment. And thank you to all the YouTubers. This is a live stream for ustream.tv, but also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I have also got my trusty little baby wipes, damp, and a little flat top that I've been using. It's a little hand cream pot, but I thought that would be perfect for the riggers. I've got the Graduate De La Rowney, a number 3, a number 2, and a number 1 rigger, and a 10-0 liner, also for De La Rowney. And they're only a couple of pounds, so I find these quite good enough. And if you use them gently and not scrush them around too much, the points live quite well. So that's what I'm using so far. Been playing about with the phthalo colours, and I do like these really vivid colours. They remind me of this page that I did with the almost neat phthalo colours, and I was originally used them in the Imagimorphia, and I love these colours so much that I thought the Johanna Basford Christmas colour book would look fantastic with these gorgeous teals and greens and very vibrant colours, which is completely different to how I normally work in my Imagimorphia. So you can actually use different things for different ways. Sorry, yes, it's flushed out a little bit. I have a new strip lighting on my desk, so let me have a try with this and see what happens. They are so vibrant, and the greens are very, very green and teal colours. So quite like that, and that inspired me to buy this book. So without further ado, I'm going to take my number 3 rigger, and I've got a damp brush, and I'm just going to touch a little bit of the phthalo green and phthalo blue. So when I go into this corner here, move this down, I will just stroke the colour. Now it's a little bit wetter than I normally work, but you can just about get away with it, especially in the Johanna Basford books. They're fab paper, beautiful ivory colours, and also Imagimorphia and the Imagimorphia book and the Colin Thompson colouring books, they're also very, very good quality, so you can just about get away with it. But I have done this on photocopy paper, and if you're not used to it, photocopy of your favourite page and have a play. That's the best thing. Once you've done a full page, you will know your paints, you'll know your brushes, and you'll know your pages. And that looks quite nice going to a pale. And apologies, there will be bark alerts because the little lost boy is very near, and he's got naughty pox. I think it might be quite nice to go darker that way as well, but it's just a little bit awkward for me to do that. So I'm actually going to cheat, and I'm going to go down this bottom corner. Yes, hubby's back, so there will be a bark alert. So if I just tilt the cut to that corner, what I'm going to try and do is go darker, and again just tease that colour. And I do want to get a little bit of an edge because I want to come in and use that lovely pale mixture, and you can only do that. Sorry, it's a bark alert. So he actually is getting better at recognizing the car, but he's still Mr. Attention Seeker, and he sets all of them off. So this could be such a short stream. And then everybody talks when you're streaming live because they all forget you're streaming live. So everybody has a good natter when they come through the door. So it's always interesting in my house. So I quite like the idea that's gone very faint, but then I want to get some darker bits again. So I think I'm going to possibly start dark here and work out. The only problem you have is it's always easier to work with a natural curve of your hand, and I'm not doing that. So that again is not the easiest way to do, but we can tease some colour out. And every time you go into a different kind of section, you can tease that colour out. So you don't have to go very pale if you don't want to. So that's kind of mixed into this colour from this side. And it just gives you a little bit of variation. Hi, Sam. Are you going to take the rat bag upstairs? Yeah, I think he's run upstairs. She didn't get much of a chance. So we can either go darker to pale or we can go pale to dark. Not getting much chance to do this, are we? Let me have a quick look. So if I go back to the top, and I'll zoom in a little bit and you can see what's happening, because it's quite a fine stroke. And I'll just I found this old colouring book, but things actually do. I'm just looking for some lettering and some colour. Things do look quite. That looks a little bit better. So apologies for the kettle going on, but this is why I had difficulty making videos the last couple of weeks, because when everybody's home it's just so difficult. If I just lift that up there very carefully and slide that across there very carefully, it's a lot easier for me to move this than it is to move all the ink. So that looks a little bit better. So I'm just going to do this corner, and again I shouldn't really be at this angle. I didn't really want to take these out because there are some that are double page spreads, and so it will ruin it. So I didn't really want to do that, but I'm thinking it could be easier, especially with all these curls, because you've got to be at a nice angle. So that's gone quite pale there. And again, when you dunk back into your water, you've used most of your colour, so you're not using a lot of colour because you're taking it almost to nothing. So I think I might start in the middle and go out, I think, maybe. This probably is a little bit bigger brush than I need, really. I quite like probably like my liner for this one. Let's see if I can transfer some colour. Excuse me. Just have to have another drink, it's no good. Sorry. So again, a little bit of a dunk, and again I've gone to a small brush to the liner because this is a small space. So you do sometimes want that little bit more control. Now last time I went from dark to pale, so this time, excuse me, stroking that down there. Yes, please, darling, there's my cup. Sorry, I can't stop coughing. So this is giving me quite a nice phthalo-y, bluey green. Oh, do excuse me. So I can either do a phthalo green or I can change the colour. Now, I did mix a red and a pinky red and a darker red for a cherry red. That's quite nice. So I'm going to just colour this in. So this is going to be very flat colour and very vibrant. And this is just painting liquid watercolours, and they are really vibrant. I probably have to do all the cherries now. Sorry, they're not cherries, they're holly berries. Did you pop sugar in it, darling, for me? Yeah. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. Just have to have a quick slurp. So I've done just the horrid berries on the other side. And then I want to mix a nice green. A traditional green, I think. Oh, do excuse me, hubby's maybe a nice cup of hot tea with sugar. Oh, hi, Salter Kelly. Hi, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Yeah, Ustream's been a bit of a pest. I've been quite lucky, but I sometimes use it on a small device because I can't use it on my big laptop. So I'm normally quite lucky. And it's very strange, but if I watch it on my phone, I don't get as many ads. But if I try to watch it on my laptop, I get double ads all the time. And I did actually, I think it was Jean that told us about how to get rid of the ads, but it wouldn't, it stopped me using Ustream. It wouldn't let me record on Ustream, so I had to go back. Sorry, it would let me record, but what it wouldn't do, it wouldn't let me upload to YouTube. I had to do it the old-fashioned way, which used to take about an hour for a 10-minute video. So it was a compromise, you know. But unfortunately, I try and type something just after I've had an ad, so that it doesn't always work that way. Because you can guarantee the minute you say something, there's an ad, and you don't know if anybody's heard you. So it's quite fun as Ustream at the moment. Hopefully they'll fix the bug for next year. So I'm making this green, which is a combination of a traditional yellow and a traditional blue. And it's quite a nice colour, actually. It's quite a nice, rich, deep green. And I think that's probably, it's actually mixed, everything's mixed quite a lot there. So there is cobalt blue, lemon yellow. So I couldn't actually tell you how I made that one. But that's again why you can do a test page and play with different colours, and then you get to like certain things. And that colour is that colour green, that deep, nice, deep, rich green is a lemon yellow, and I think that's French ultramarine, that one. So we've got, yeah, that's French ultramarine, and a gamboge. Again, that's another nice, deep, dark green. See, that's a gorgeous green. So we've got holly berries, and we haven't got anything else, have we? I think I might do the centres, that colour, because I quite like that, and I've made a good batch of it. Again, that's the other thing, you know, if you do a practice and you run out, you think, right, next time I know I've got to make enough of this colour. I don't know if that's going to be any different. Let me have a look. I don't think that's going to be that much different. You can add a tiny drop of water if you want to. Again, your damp brush should sort that out for you. This is not how I normally work. This is just using these almost as a straight liquid watercolour, which I've never played with before, but only having a damp brush, so that means you've still got a little bit of control over what you do. And again, I quite like that. So again, I've missed a few corners, so you can just kind of go back in and tease if you want it to be absolutely perfect. So I've got these colours set now, so I'm going to go to here, because this colour can be mixed in anytime I want, but I want to get the holly berries in. So I'm just going to move up very carefully there. And I do have this green here already, just double check that I didn't move on to some other colour, which I don't think I did. And again, that's a little bit too wet, but by the time you've pushed it right around, this paper will forgive you. If that was on photocopy paper or a thinner book, it would go through. But this is paper that can just about stand that. I hope that's just slightly... I'm just going to use a slightly bigger brush for these, because I don't want to be here all day. Again, just double check that that's the right colour. I don't suppose it matters too much. I don't want... It's a bit dark, is that one? But I think that's the one I did the outside with, so I've already made a mistake, you see. So you've got to concentrate, really. So it's not always the easiest thing to do. If you had a cleaner palette, it always would be better as well, but because I'm a tight Yorkshire lass, I kind of just keep going in there. So again, you know, you've got to just... So you have more control with a smaller brush. Oh my goodness, the bad boy's back. Honestly, Alfie. I do not live in Dracula's castle, although it sounds like I live in Dracula's castle. The creaky doors. Oh my goodness me. Aren't the dogs wonderful? Yeah. Oh, and it's going to open again now. This is why it's almost impossible to stream when you have family at home. So I do apologise. I apologise. It's just, this is this is home. This is homeland. I don't know why that won't go down there, probably because I've got that attached to it. Just tease a little bit of colour into there. So you can either pick things off as you go, or pick all the leaves and the holly berries as you go, and then the holly leaves. It depends if you want a lot of consistency. If it's a bigger space, sometimes I don't do so much. These colours normally lend themselves to just about getting away with anything because they are so pretty and so vibrant. You kind of don't notice mistakes, but you know that they're there, so it's so you can mix and match. But normally if you do a photocopy, you've normally cracked it and you know how to work the paintbrushes to get the best effects, and how to work the paint, how much water to use, how much to drain off the water. You normally have a really good idea of what you're doing. I'm just going to do these two little ones here. Why can I see? Oh, there's one there. That's why I couldn't see this one. Right. Again, I'm just going to tease a little bit of colour into there. Again, I've got this colour, so I'm going to use it because it will react differently when it's dried and you reactivate it. They are different because I have these in my little book of watercolours and I use them completely differently. But I quite like this colour. It's doing okay. There's a few in the middle here, so if I just squidge in there. So if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps because I'm squinting well today. Oh my goodness me! I cannot believe the girls. I mean, it's not like they're little. This is why I had to stop streaming this week because they're just so noisy. And they're not normally, they've never been stroppy teenagers, but 6 months or whatever it is at uni and everybody knows everything. So you become I think we just have doors opening and shutting. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to have a slurp of tea. Have to laugh. Apologies. It's not even going out time or feeding time, but I think it's because, again, people are home for the holidays, so you're not structured, and the dogs aren't structured, and they're playing up like kids. You know, they know that, oh, I can do what I like this week because everybody's home, and she doesn't make me sit in my bed all day. So apologies for the raucous behaviour of the girls and Alfie. And as I say, because I've got this green on this brush, if you rinse it out, it's completely different. It's very, very, well, it's not very dirty, but you can see there's colour in there. And that's because these are very vibrant. So I don't really want to be wasting that. And it's, you know, dirtying the water, which again is something that I have to go change. So another reason why I kind of tend to stick with the same colour when I'm using these gorgeous hydrous colours. Just have to put my little bit of paper there so I can just... It's always a good idea, whatever you're doing, just to double check your colours, because as soon as you've touched that page, you're committed, and if it's the completely wrong colour, you're going to kick yourself. So whether it's markers or whether it's a pencil or whether it's a watercolour, I always just give a little mark just to make sure I'm not going to mess it up, because you'd be cross with yourself. These are nice books. You don't want to be just scribbling any old thing out. Oh, I don't, and I don't think everybody else does either. Again, because that colour's run now, it's made it go darker. So this actually is the colour of the outside. So I'm just going to work off camera a minute just to go here. Because this is the colour I was using before. And because I'm on a slant, it's run into the other side. So again, one thing about liquid watercolours, they're not like anything else I use. And if you're on a slant or one of your colours touches another, it will instantly run into it. So you end up with a different colour. So again, that's another thing to watch. But if you were doing a photocopy of a page, as I say, by the time you've finished, you will have learnt that and think, aha, I need to do that on a different surface, or I need to keep the wells separate. I'm actually not working from wells, I'm working from mixed colours. But because I like these, I could have actually made enough for them. Now that does look very dark, but it isn't quite as dark as that. And again, the brush wasn't quite as damp as I'd like it, but you get used to working in different ways. And you evolve into other things. You know, I wouldn't have thought I would have gone back to painting like this when I've been working so dry, but the Imagimorphia and the Johanna's Christmas books lend themselves to be quite vivid and bright. And yes, I'll have to remember that. The book nester says it would be great if it was October and spooky. Yes, I shall have to remember to do my cackle. I can do a good cackle if I haven't got cold. I can do a good cackle. So I probably would have managed to spray some WD-40 on them before then. And I think it's all the doors, because it's an old house. All the doors are wonky, and the walls are wonky. So when you hang a door, it just wants to go where it wants to go. It's a bit like my camera's on a slant, and it just wants to roll because that's what it wants to do. So again, a bit of a damp brush. You've got to use these differently if you're using them wet as a liquid watercolour or as a dried watercolour with a damp brush, because the colours are so different. And it's nice working in both ways, and it's nice to find different ways of working as well. So again, I don't know what I've quite done with this particular colour now. It's kind of gone off a bit now. This looks almost the colour of the inside, so I could do these paler. As I say, I'm pretty sure you can get away with it with these designs. So I've obviously touched a colour that I shouldn't have done, so it's made it go just that little bit darker. So I'm just going to go around, and then that will bring it back into line, I think. So I have really lost that nice colour, but it's a lot quicker way of working as well, though. Sometimes some of these pages have taken me 3 or 4 days. So this is a lot quicker way of working, which again is quite nice. You know it's not going to take you forever. Because it depends what mood you're in. Sometimes you don't mind, but sometimes you think, excuse me, well, if I'm going to start this, it's going to take me, at least 3 or 4 videos. So I chose to do it this way so that it would be quicker. Because, as I say, we're coming to the end of January and we do not want to be doing Christmas books, really. But if I get any, if anybody wants me to do any more pages, then I will do. If you want to carry on through January, we can go through this, what's left of this book, because, as I say, I'm sure people would have actually got it for Christmas. Do excuse me. So again, you can see I've just picked up that a little bit too much of that gamboge. But gamboge and French ultramarine makes a wonderful, deep, rich leaf green. There seems to be somebody left behind. Don't know who's been left behind, but there seems to be a patch of tiny feet. So somebody's been left behind and not taken for a walk. Probably Dexter. The girls go on long walks, and because he's old, he gets to the bus stop and then he thinks, I don't want to go any further, so you've got to come all the way back with him. So if I just move that slightly here, we should get to these. If I'm very lucky, I don't have to move the camera. So this is, oops, a little bit faster. Just let me see what that green's doing. It's still probably just about okay. But you do notice that you change the colour of your water, which you wouldn't probably do. Working very dry. I'm just laughing at the old dog in the other kitchen. Everybody's gone. He gets so confused very easily. He's not all there, bless him. He's another one that's been rescued and has probably never always been all there. And again, just can tease a little bit more water in there. So this way doesn't give you that lovely watercolour effect unless you want it to. I'm kind of just using them as a flat colour. And then if I get a watercolour effect, I do, and if I don't, I don't. I don't know why he's barking, because there's nobody there. There's nobody there, sorry. You shouldn't mock the afflicted, should you really? But just going to paint the inside of these two. So unless anybody wants me to carry on with the Christmas ones. And then we've got Art in the Abbey soon as well. So that's another one that I might try to do that next week actually, on my normal Tuesday afternoons, which is my normal stream. Most of my others are impromptu and just for filling space for recording. That's when I normally try and record my YouTube videos. But I do them live, but of course it's very early in the morning and it's the quiet time until everybody arrives home from college and everywhere. So I quite like the colours. They're different. Again, I love the fact that you keep working in different ways. So I might do art in the Abbey tomorrow, on Tuesday afternoon, because I'm in the Abbey for a couple of hours till 12. So 12 in the UK is maybe 7, 6 or 7, I think. 7 is it in the US? And 9 in the evening in Australia. I think it's 10 hours behind, isn't it? You think? I keep knocking my little pony that's in there, so. So I'm going around all these holly leaves because I really want to get this kind of, I want to get them all in there because I've lost the green that I had before, so I'm mixing it up as I go along. And all the other colours run down, so that's going to give me the darker green, I think, now. If I can just manage to just get a little bit. But you don't need a lot, I have to say. It goes a long way, this colour. You know, it's a very intense liquid watercolour. But you can mix some fab colours, you know, you don't need... If you put 2 drops of yellow and 1 drop of green, sorry, 1 drop of if you did 2 drops of phthalo green, 2 drops of French ultramarine and 1 drop of French ultramarine and 2 drops of a lemony yellow, a very pale yellow, you get a very vivid green. And then you want 1 drop of French ultramarine and 2 drops of gamboge or a cadmium yellow, and you get another gorgeous green, and you carry on like that, and this is how you get these gorgeous greens. And then you do the same with cobalt blue, and then you've got 4 really different greens. And then for a shadow, you just want to add a touch of red to each one. And that's going to give you 8 greens. So it doesn't take much to mix your colours. And now I've completely ruined that one now. So I'm going to have to leave it, I think, because I've got a little bit too much gamboge, and I've got... gamboge has obviously got red in, so I've got an olive colour now. If I turn that over to there, look, it's now gone olive. So it was here and it moved. So I need to get back to this green if I can. That's probably that green now. I just need a touch more yellow. It's not brilliant, but it might do. Yeah, it's definitely not the same, because that's not a French ultramarine. Yeah, it's a different green, so I'll change the other one as well. You've got to be a bit careful, but I am on a slant, so it's never going to be that easy. If you're on a slant, you've got to be kind of really flat. If you're on a slope, because an orange and a blue, or an orangey blue, a orangey yellow, will make a lovely olive colour. Now, so if I go back to here, have I made, yeah, that's the olive colour, which I don't want. To go down here to get this colour. Yeah. So I've got a darker colour, because this is cobalt and a yellow. It makes a completely different green. So all's quiet on the Western Front again until they all come back and it'll all start again. So I end up buying 10 colour books over between Christmas and I don't think I have many. Oh, I have the one in the corner, but as I say, I've made a bit of a mess in this corner. Look, with a, I squished some paint on it. Oh, it's dried now, so I might just get away with it. And I've just dipped the corner of that into pure colours. So I'm making a bit of a mess today. So thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you're having a pleasant afternoon. Oh, hi Suzanne, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else that's joining? I wanted to finish the Johanna's Christmas book. Excuse me. But with coughing and Alfie being a spoilt boy, it's been difficult to stream this last week or so. But I wanted to get my little Christmas book out of the way, because as I say, I bought 10 books and I was desperate to start colouring them. I might leave that one pale, actually. I quite like that. So if I use this dark on here now, it's a little bit darker. And the other little one's sulking because they've all gone for a long walk and he hasn't gone. He's like a lost boy. But that actually sounds like Alfie and not. Oh, they haven't gone for a walk. They're just out in the garden. And they haven't taken any of the dogs, so there you go. I'm just going to just very quickly go to this top corner. I'm really sorry about this, but it's a lot easier for me to try and move the book this time. So again, I'm just going to go, yeah, there could be some barks. I do apologise. I thought it was quiet, but so that's one of the reasons I hadn't streamed. And having this ridiculous silly cough as well. Oops. I'm just going to go around the edge with this one. And then if I go in this with a drop of water, just a tidge of water, I can just make that a little bit paler and get away with that. It is a bit olivey though. It's the last one and they seem to be a bit different colours. I'm just going to go back into that one again. So I want to thank all my Ustream fibs for joining me today, because I know it's a difficult day after Christmas and I'm getting excited about our streamathon tomorrow. So hopefully I should be about bright and early. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Well, I've had this silly cough, and as I say, with having the girls home from college and uni all the time and hubby, you can't stream because they must go up and downstairs 100 times. Now, I did think about going in one of the bedrooms, but I have to see the new year. We'll see what happens. Because it just gets so frantic. So I think I made this colour down here, I think I said, for the berries with a touch of the cad red. And I want to keep it quite vibrant. So I've got 1 drop of cad red and 1 drop of alizarin crimson. And this is the same colour that I used when I used the professional watercolours, the Winsor & Newton professional watercolours. And I did my first bunny, call it a bunny page. So I'm trying to find the berries. The bunny page in Imagimorphia. And I wanted a lovely toadstool, but the pinky red was too pinky red and the reddy red was too cold red. But I found that one paintbrush dipped in both reds gave me the perfect mushroom toadstool colour, and that's what I've used here, and it's very similar. I don't know where my Imagimorphia is. If Hubby comes in, I'll ask him to pass me it. I don't think it's near me. Nigel, could you do me a favour? Amy, could you do me a favour? Just look on that bookshelf for Imagimorphia, darling, please. It's a black book. It looks like that at the end. It's probably in the middle. And it's called Imagimorphia. You can't see it? No. I don't know where my glasses are. Animal. Yes, that Imagimorphia. No, I've actually found it. Sorry, it's under here. If you could just help me get it out. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Oopsie, avalanche. Avalanche. So you would think that, if I show this really carefully, that's the red. And again, I wanted, this is the exact same red here, although this is darker. These are the exact same reds. The only difference is they've got water on them. The more water you add. And that was made with, and I love the bunny page. That was the first one that I wanted to do. And that was Cad Red and Elysian Crimson. And I found that to be quite a nice red. And of course that's given me, even though these are different liquid watercolours, as I say, when we did the watercolour with the ink toners, I used Elysian Crimson. No, it's not called Elysian Crimson, is it? When it's an inkjet. The printer inks, you get a vibrant pinky red. You get a violent pale sea blue, and you get a very vibrant yellow. And I thought you can make any colour from those. The French ultramarine is really hard to mix, so I would always go for 6 colours, but you can make, I did over 600 with just 3 colours. And again, it didn't matter whether this was printer ink or it was printer ink, or it was the professional Winsor Newton watercolours tubes, or it was any make of paint that gives you a colour that is the same. The pigments are not normally as good, but the principle of mixing colours is the same. If you have a cold yellow and a cold blue, you are going to get a very vibrant apple green. If you use French ultramarine, which has obviously got red in it, and you use a gamboge or a cadmium yellow that's also got the warm in it, it's got the red in it, you are going to get a really dark, deep green. And you will never have a light green if you do not have a light blue and a light yellow. And this is sometimes quite frustrating. So, if you just have to buy 6 colours, you can still make every colour you ever need. It didn't have many reviews, but it taught me quite a lot, because I'd forgotten quite a lot, and I've actually just found another little leaf. So it's good to play. And again, if you've got a photocopy of a favourite page with lots going on, like this side here, get your printer inks and put a drop of each ink together, and then mix the colour wheel like I did, and then colour all these in and decide, do you like the pinky reds? Do you like the reddy reds? Do you like bright colours? Do you like pale colours? Do you like olives and oranges and fawns and browns? Or do you like the vivid pinks and the purples and the turquoises? And that teaches you how to make them without having to buy them, which is always good. Oh, yes, Suzanne, have you missed Alfie barking? He's been on good form this morning. He's had a good old woof this morning. He has. And again, if you want to do, I've just coloured those in there, and they're a lot paler, so they look like they've got a highlight, but I'm not in that kind of mood today, so I'm just going to go back in there and give them a really vibrant, rich colour, so they'll really pop, because that's what I want. So I'm going to very carefully take this away. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to pop it there, and hopefully I've just got to be extremely careful, because I've got this silly ink pot. But hopefully, if I zoom out now, you can see all the little bits I've been doing. And again, that's quite nice, because you first you think, oh, I could start this, it's going to take me a long time, but after a while, I think my lighting is slightly out. I haven't quite got the lighting perfect yet. Well, it was okay, now it's just kind of going a bit ugh. I don't know why. Probably because the daylight just seems to go for now. I'm just going to shut this and see if I can get a little bit more light on it. Aha. So if you can see, I've picked out, and they don't look too odd. They're not all perfect, but it still doesn't look too bad. I just want, I don't know whether it just won't just sit on there. It's better. And again, you know, I started in this darker corner here and gone paler. So I'll probably pick that bit off next as well. So just double check I haven't left any, because what's happened is that was the green that I was using for my leaves, but it's all run into here because I've been on a slope. So everything has run this side, and I've lost that lovely green I had. And because the gamboge has gone into the green, I've got a beautiful olive colour, a very rich olive colour, but I don't really want one yet. So and I've just missed those leaves there. So again, you've got to be careful. You do, and again, this is why you have photocopy, because you know that is a lovely olive colour, but I just don't want that in here just at this particular moment. If there'd have been some ivy in here, that would have been perfect, but I haven't. So I'm just going to colour that bit in, and then I'm going to finish this particular page because I just want to finish that little bit there. And I think this green, and again I've got to test, but I did actually drip the corner in it, so that would have dragged across my page, and I've now lost that green that I had. So I've got to be a little bit careful. I don't need too much. I just like the idea of these being that little bit darker. I don't normally do backgrounds. I quite like this one, and if it's pretty enough, I love the ivory paper. But I have actually messed up a little bit. I've caught some paint, some dry paint, and dragged it across the bottom corner, so I may not get away with it. We'll have to see. So again, you know, you use a smaller brush if you're not very used to a smaller brush, or you use a larger one. Excuse me. I was just laughing. Even the new PVC doors creak around here. Oh, excuse me. Quick slurp of tea. So that's the end of part one. I think I'm going to have to take it out. I'm going to have to take it out. I can put it back in if I have to. I can stick it at the back. But I'm actually going to take it out because there's so many swirls. And if you want them to be neat and tidy, you've got to go with the natural curve of your hand and your wrist. Otherwise, you can make a bit of a pig's ear of it. And as I say, it's a nice book. I don't want to do that. So that's the end of part one of the hobby horse on the Johanna's. I'm just going to turn that up slightly and move that up slightly because that's where the light probably is slightly better. So they're not all the same, which again I quite like. If you wanted them all the same, the best thing to do would be to mix the colour in a well and then mix enough. 2 drops is ample, and then it doesn't run into each other, and then you know you're going to get definitely the same colour all the time. But I sometimes quite like this variegated kind of thing. So that's the end of part one of the Johanna Christmas hobby horse. Thank you for watching.